It is currently Thursday, July 11th. I saw Superman 2 nights ago, Tuesday night, through one of the Amazon Fandango Prime early screening things. Now, to say I was excited for this movie would be an understatement. I, like many others in my theater, got a shirt to celebrate the occasion. I've been reading Superman comics leading up to this for months. My wallpaper has been this ever since the poster dropped in December. And I blasted that glorious John Williams soundtrack on the drive to the screening. Also, I'm a pretty big James Gunn fan. Like many, I don't think he's made a bad comic book project yet. But I was also a little worried that this would just be another Gunn-style group comedy, which, frankly, I do like. But I didn't think it would fit for a Superman movie. But he said in the past that he did approach this film with a different style and tone than any of his previous projects. And I remember when that very first teaser trailer came out. I knew it was coming out that morning, 9 a.m. I was driving to Epcot, and I was just refreshing. I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat. But I was refreshing, waiting for this glorious trailer that should change my life. And I remember watching it for that first time. And then I remember watching it again in line for the Finding Nemo ride. And I didn't love it. I was happy to see people online enjoy it, but it didn't really impress me. However, literally every single other thing surrounding the movie did excite me. It was only that trailer that instilled any sort of doubt. Then the second trailer came out, and not a lot really changed. But, of course, I held out hope, because that's what Superman would want me to do. I purposely did not watch any of the other trailers that I saw. I remember when watching Jurassic World, they played one of the most recent trailers that I'd been purposely avoiding, and I just covered my eyes. I just listened to it because I wanted to avoid knowing as much as I could besides, the vibe. I didn't want to know the story. When I watched Thunderbolts a couple months ago, I just knew what was going to happen in every single scene. I knew the plot. I knew what was going to happen. Nothing surprised me, so I was just worried that something like that would happen if I watched too many trailers for this movie. And I gotta say, I did not love it. I was dying to adore this movie. It seemed so easy for me to do so. While watching, I had a big smile on my face the entire time. But then when I realized that there was only 20, 30 minutes left and that it was almost over, I was thinking, is that it? It was kind of just stuff happening with characters that I've not grown to love yet. And I'm not going to spoil any real events of this movie. The plot is not going to be spoiled significantly or any certain events of any kind. I'm not going to go in depth on them. But just as a general overview, it almost feels like you're supposed to walk into this movie already loving these iterations of the characters. And it's just like a fun, inconsequential adventure with them. It's like picking up a random issue of a random run off the shelf, and you just have I missed something? I don't know who these people are, and this is just okay, I guess this is happening, and this is just a day in the life. James Gunn is normally incredibly good at getting you to love, or just at the very least empathize with and understand a wide cast of characters. But that just didn't happen to me this time around. It's really hard for me to explain, but it felt emotionally void. And the humor is kind of one note. I'm supposed to laugh when a character reacts a certain way, but I don't know these characters. So I don't find it funny when Mr. Terrific says something like, "Oh hell no." It's am I supposed to laugh at that? Is that your joke? Here's something that I said in a previous video that I think is kind of relevant. It's like the sitcom or the show where I feel like I have such a 360 knowledge of the characters, where I see something and I laugh because that is so Sheldon, bro. Don't even get me started. That's such a Sheldon thing to do. So when I see clips on my TikTok and it's people, how do you even find this funny? It's because I grew up kind of knowing these guys, these characters. So when they do something that's in character, I find it funny because I know them. And it's like when you see your best friend do something stupid. It's why are you laughing at that guy? It's because That's such a Frank thing to do. Oh my god, don't even get me started. And it's the same thing with a character like Drax. If you give Drax's lines to somebody that I do not know, I would not find it funny. But since I know and I like Drax, when he says something like, "This isn't a Christmas gift, this is human trafficking," yes, I laugh because I'm thinking, of course Drax would say that. That's such a him thing to do. Which I know sounds kind of like brain dead, but that's just what it is to me to develop a character. It's like you actually know them inside and out. And maybe Guardians isn't the best example, since you have like 3 solo movies, a holiday special, 2 Avengers movies, and a Thor movie to get to know them. But even just looking at the first Guardians movie, or just the Suicide Squad, James Gunn imbues such distinct characteristics into each and every person, or raccoon, or shark, or starfish, anything. Probably my favorite line from any of Gunn's projects is from Starro. As he's dying, he says this: "I was happy, floating, staring at the stars." And in one line, one singular line, you feel bad for him. And it makes you rethink the entire climax of, oh yay, the good guys beat the bad creature. It makes you empathize with him with just a single line. Or maybe you don't even like think that he's a good character or a good creature, but it at least makes you like think for a second, like, oh, that was kind of sad. So all of this just to say, I don't feel like I know this Superman very well. I like it when, spoiler, he saves a squirrel. Like, that was fun. But someone like Lois, I barely remember doing anything. Basically, her first real scene is her grilling Superman in an interview. But it feels unearned. Like, I'm just getting thrown into the deep end with these characters and the relationship, but I haven't had any build up or getting to know them in any way, shape, or form. If you didn't know Guy Gardner was a jerk before this movie, you wouldn't really know it at all. Nothing Guy does really exhibits any sort of strong quality or trait. And that's kind of a problem with a lot of most of the characters in this movie. Hawkgirl, to me, has never really been interesting. She does nothing. Like, even in the Justice League cartoon, all she does is yell and like hit stuff. And that's all she does in this movie. You don't get to know Hawkgirl. I couldn't tell you one character trait that Hawkgirl like has. I don't know what type of person she is. Everyone feels hollow, and most of the emotion and humor because of it feels unearned. Gunn is also very good at making you laugh when something is just silly by nature, even if it's not necessarily connected to the characters. But I can't really think of a moment when that happened. I guess I liked it when the baby kaiju was like running around, but that was like 2 seconds. And then we have, on the opposite end, the Twitter infamous Baby Joey. That much longer sequence, which I think is supposed to be funny because he's a green, ugly baby, I just felt kind of flat. It was like, okay, I feel like I've seen this before. This isn't really surprising me or challenging me in any sort of way. I know I sound like such a remarkable hater right now, like putting up Lex Luthor numbers. So I guess I should probably say some nice things about the movie, because I do not dislike it. I just feel like there's such a positive flush of reviews right now, and I just feel like I'm not very seen at the moment, which I know is like, that's such a crazy thing. Like, hater must post online because no one else is hating, but that I feel like I have something different to say, so I just want to put it out there. But I do have some kind things to say, of course. First off, the previously mentioned Lex Luthor. I think him and his team just gleefully like being giddy while beating up Superman I think that's really funny. I really like seeing that. That was something I haven't seen a hater villain in a movie like that in what feels like a very long time. Also, the whole cast feels right in their roles. I just wish their roles were a little like beefier. For all the hype around each character, everyone getting their own poster and huge casting announcement, there isn't like a lot of payoff to it. I think Beck Bennett has like 2 or 3 lines, and he's a poster. Like, why does this exist? Okay, sorry. I am trying to be nice here. It looks good. I remember when watching the trailers, I was a little worried about the coloring of sorts. I think a lot of people had that sort of problem. But when in the theater, I didn't really notice or have a problem with it. Crypto was pretty cute, and the story was like satisfactory. It feels like a typical Superman, Lex Luthor adventure. And Gunn does understand the dynamics of these characters. It's faithful to the source material, unlike, Zack Snyder. But did I really need Lex and Superman monologuing their motivations? Like, did Superman really need to say that he is so human or whatever? I don't know how many different ways I can explain the same issue that I have with it, but it just felt empty. It's not bad. It's not a bad movie. Like, if this was a Marvel movie, it would be one of the better ones, but it is certainly not great. It's not what I wanted out of my first real live action solo movie in this new DC universe. I am seeing it though again 1 week from today, and I really, really hope that I enjoy watching it a second time, because if I see any movie twice in quick succession and I enjoy it on that second rewatch, that means that I now have a good movie that I can fall back on, that I enjoy watching. If I watch something once, like it, and twice and don't like it, then I never want to watch it again. If it's the opposite, if I dislike it the first time and I like it the second time, that's good. That means I can watch it a third and I'll probably like it. So I'm just really hoping that I enjoy this movie again a second time and not really think about any of the bad stuff that I had been previously thinking about. I just hope that this all just kind of goes away. I hope that I love it like everyone else seems to be loving it. But that's the thing, since I saw it on Tuesday, the general public has not had a ton of time and, to put out their thoughts about it. Just some people that got those screenings, or certain content creators who I don't know if I really trust because of the hype, and that they'd probably get more views if they did like it than if they didn't, because people want to like this movie. When there's a bad review this movie put out there, it gets the engagement is like, you're an idiot, this is gonna be great. It's like, you haven't seen the movie. Like, you can't say that if you haven't seen the movie. Or when there's a good review, it's all like, I knew this movie was going to be good. People want to love it, and I want to love it. I hope everyone else loves it. Actually, it would be kind of nice if I wasn't the only person. But I hope that this movie appeases most people. And I guess I'd rather have it just be my problem, even though I wish I didn't have the problem to begin with. But overall, I just wanted the movie to be more.